Hustle culture says success requires extreme effort. But oftentimes, effort is exactly why we fail. Imagine being programmed to be the perfect basketball machine, only to choke when your career is on the line. To survive, you don't need to grind harder. You need an ancient Chinese cheat code, something Daoists discovered in 475 BC. Modern psychology calls it flow state, while Taoism calls it Wu Wei. To understand how it unlocks elite performance, we're stepping onto the courts of Wild Ball, China's chaotic underground basketball league. How did I get here? Chen Wei thinks. He's standing on the free throw line in China's Wild Ball circuit, a chaotic mercenary league where washed-up players compete for cash. When he was just 9 years old, Wei was scouted and sent to a boarding academy where he underwent 13 years of drills, discipline, and rigid execution. He survived the system and earned a spot on a professional roster. But under the bright lights, the pressure broke him. Basketball became a performance instead of an instinct. Paralyzed by overthinking, he was constantly a step behind. Within just 3 months, he was cut. Now, surrounded by a raucous crowd, his mind races. Elbow tucked, bend your knees, follow through. The scouts might be watching. Don't mess up. Don't. Game over. Out of frustration, Wei begins training harder than ever. Morning drills, film study, shooting coaches. He relentlessly executes his academy programming, yet the harder he tries, the worse he plays. Wei, you're too tight, a teammate notes. I'm executing the fundamentals, Wei snaps back. This isn't a test, it's basketball. Remember the street kid we played last night? His fundamentals are terrible, but he's getting CBA call-ups because he's actually playing the game. You're stuck here because you're treating this like a performance. Wei remembers the kid's loose, instinctive style. It reminds him of how basketball used to feel before the expectations. Now, after 13 years of mechanical programming, the game is just a job. Desperate to escape the noise in his own head, Wei walks home instead of taking the train. When he ducks into a quiet alleyway, he discovers a tiny Daoist temple that captures his attention. He sits on the steps, exhausted from a lifetime of being a cog in China's basketball machine. The rhythmic dripping of water from a bamboo spout falling onto a stone below captures his attention. For 13 years, the academy told Wei to be the rock, rigid and unbreakable. But watching the water effortlessly slip off the solid stone reminds him of the street kid's fluid playstyle. That's when it clicks. The street kid, the temple, the dripping water. His problem isn't unique or new. It's something Taoism found a solution for thousands of years ago. 7 kingdoms are locked in brutal warfare, as has been the case for over 2 centuries. Armies of hundreds of thousands clash on blood-soaked plains, cities fall, and populations are massacred. Every ruler operates with relentless force. They're all attempting to control through power, with more soldiers, harsher laws, and rigid discipline. The harder they push, the worse things get. Yet amidst the chaos, an old librarian named Lao Tzu discovers something that outlasts every kingdom. Rather than studying battlefields or war rooms, he studies nature. Lao Tzu watches water flow around rocks without effort. The water doesn't smash against the rocks in frustration. It simply flows around it, and over centuries, it erodes the rock to nothing. Everything in nature works in effortless effectiveness, something he calls Wu Wei, action without strain. But Wu Wei is part of something much larger, the Tao, the natural flow that underlies all existence. When you align with it, everything becomes easier. When you fight against it, everything becomes harder. This effortless alignment is what we'd now call flow state. Back then, Lao Tzu called it ziran, self-sowness. It's things being what they naturally are, without external interference or internal forcing. Lao Tzu's famous book, the Tao Te Ching, serves as a guide to finding flow, featuring key excerpts such as, "The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. The sage does not act, yet everything gets accomplished." These observations taught China, and now the entire world, how mastery actually works. Ultimately, Lao Tzu's teachings led to the birth of Taoism, a philosophical tradition that would endure for thousands of years. Sages, hermits, artists, and even emperors would spend lifetimes studying the Tao and seeking to understand how yielding creates strength, how stillness enables action, and how nature's flow unlocks power that willpower never could. The paradox is that you can't achieve flow by trying harder, only by removing what blocks your natural ability. Like water, you're most powerful when you stop forcing. This is why skilled craftsmen don't think about each movement. Their hands know what to do instinctually. An artist doesn't find flow by forcing creativity. He allows it to emerge naturally. And of course, the athlete who's in the zone doesn't calculate his plays. He responds instinctively. For the first time in years, Wei sees it clearly. The academy trained him to be a machine, precise, controlled, programmed. That system can work when everyone follows the same rules and the game is predictable. But Wild Ball isn't the academy, it's chaos. Pristine arenas one day, outdoor concrete the next. No set plays or structured systems, just pure, instinctive basketball. Wei had been trying to impose academy order on Wild Ball chaos, like trying to force water uphill. The academy conditioned Wei to be rock, but Wild Ball needs him to be water. The next game, Wei tries something radical. He stops thinking. The 13 years of training are still there, embedded in his muscle memory, but instead of consciously executing each movement, he lets his body remember what his mind keeps forgetting. Early in the game, he's still tight and can't shake his old habits. When a defender presses him, his first instinct is to calculate. If I drive left, he'll rotate, then I should... The play collapses. He's too robotic. But then, after he shakes off a little rust, Wei starts to flow. When he gets the ball on the wing, he sees his defender shift his weight, so he crosses over, finds the gap, and makes the perfect pass before he can even comprehend what he's doing. His teammate scores. Chen Wei blinks. That felt easy. By the fourth quarter, Wei is a completely different player. He isn't playing academy ball anymore. He's playing like water. He reads the defense as it happens, and he reacts instinctively, not based off of a playbook he memorized. The raucous crowd is roaring now, but Wei barely hears them. He's in a state of flow, completely lost in the moment. When the final possession comes around, everyone expects Wei to take the game-winning shot. It's what the old Wei would have done. But when he sees a double team coming, without even thinking, he passes to this open teammate cutting back door. 2 points! Game over! Walking home that night, Wei passes the Daoist temple once again and smiles. He realizes that while the academy taught him to be a professional, it was Lao Tzu who taught him to be a player again. Now, all he needs is just one more chance to prove it at the highest level. Not by forcing his way back to the CBA, but by flowing so undeniably that he can't be ignored. Chen Wei walked past that Daoist temple 100 times before he finally realized what it was teaching him. The academy made him a machine, but Lao Tzu made him a player. The difference? Wu Wei, the art of effortless action. It's not about abandoning discipline or rejecting hard work. It's about training so deeply that when the moment comes, you can forget everything you learned and just play. Flow isn't found in trying harder. It's found in removing what blocks your natural ability. So the next time pressure makes you overthink, remember, be water, not rock. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Easternized for more explorations into Asian culture and philosophy. Thanks for watching. Until next time.